A lot of the time I do these vlog style videos where I just show you that I'm doing things, and that is important for at least us. It gives us a little bit of a library that we actually did the things to the cars. However, today I'm going to show you guys exactly how to install an ETC reader in a car, and this should work in any car. Don't get overwhelmed either. This looks really difficult, but it is not. So first we have the ETC reader itself. You have two ports. You can't mix them up because these things only go in one place. This right here is the speaker that transmits the information. It also acts as the antenna. It must go at the top around here in the car when you put the double-sided tape on. Easy as that. Next, we have the power cable. This is going to have a ground, which you ground to the car. We'll show you. And this is going to be your accessory hot. That is when you turn the key one notch, and that will turn on the things like the deck, etc. That is what accessory hot is. You do not want this to be hot all the time. You want this to only turn on when you turn your car on. And then we have a double-sided sticky tape. The first thing you want to do is you want to decide where you're putting this. A lot of the times people like to put it inside the glove box, which is really good. I have a gigantic TV box thing here. That's a separate thing, so I'm not going to put it in there. Where I'm going to put mine is right down here. I have this drop down, and it will be perfect to put my ETC reader. All you would do is grab it, space it out, and say, okay, it's going to be going right there so I can put my card in anytime I want when I open this up. Next thing you want to do is locate your fuse box. If we look down by the pedals and then look up right here, this will be your fuse box. You are going to need something like this if you don't want to splice in wires. What this will do is plug into your fuse box, and there will be a lead that comes off of it, in which case that will be whatever cable you want it to be. In this case, it's going to be accessory hot. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at this, and this is our voltmeter. So it says 0 across everything because I'm not hooked up to anything. If I ground the black to the car, like here, which we're going to act as our ground right here, and then we utilize an empty port on our fuse box, we're going to use that one on the top right corner, and we're going to touch that electronic lead right there. You see that piece of metal? That should tell us whether we have power or not. So let's try it out. As you saw, it was off. It was 0 volts, which means we have to turn our key to accessory. You don't have to start the car. And then if you do the same thing, that should display 12 volts. So what that means is when we have our key to accessory right there, that is going to be the port we are going to use to plug in our main power. Once it is plugged in right there, you will see that this is now your lead for power. All you would do is you would come here, grab this, and put them together because that is your accessory wire. Since we now decided that we are putting it in here, you'll see that there is a little bit of a gap there I can put my finger through. That's very, very good for us because that means I can feed the cables through there, so it's completely clean. So when I put this in there, I'll close it up like that, and you won't see anything. Before you go buttoning everything up, test it out. So put our ground on a ground, and let's plug this in, and then when we turn our car on, that should make some beeps and boops. So now we know it works when we have our accessory on. And if I turn that off, that should turn off too. That's what we want to happen. We don't want this to be on full time. You don't want to wire this directly to your battery. Make sure you tuck everything out of the way up here in the wheel well. Show you where we are right here, so that it does not impede on your brake or your gas or your foot brake / e-brake. So make sure all of that is out of the way. Once you have that done, you'll have access to your ETC reader. You don't have to glue it down if you don't want, if it's in a case like this. If you put it somewhere on the outside, you might want to use double-sided tape. But that is basically it. It is very, very easy, honestly. It just looks a little bit overwhelming when you have to do things like running cables. But if you just take your time, you take off the panels that need to be taken off, you can honestly figure it out pretty quick. This works on every single car. You just need a ground and you need accessory hot, which means your car, when it turns on, the power starts flowing and then your ETC reader will work.